I think that over the past 9 years, the UPA government has undone a lot of the good work that the preceding governments before them had done in trying to make India's economic climate favorable for future growth. So I think what they should do first is to stop trying to blame the external economic climate. It's important for them to understand that the people voted them into power on the understanding that they would do everything it took to control the economy and to help the economy develop. So to blame external factors is only part of the story, because most other countries are not performing as bad as India. India is in fact one of the worst performing economies of the recent times, which means that it is not just the economic climate that has caused this, but also the government's reaction to this economic climate which has led to it. I think one of this is the profligate spending on this whole social security expenditure that this government is trying to do. The whole NREG Act, the food security bill, the farm loan waiver, a number of very expensive schemes in the name of social welfare and social security have been brought about. It's fine on paper. The problem in India is in actual implementation and the fact that these funds will not reach the people that they're supposed to reach. That's the first part. So if they're not going to reach the people that they're supposed to reach, it's wasteful expenditure, and in effect people are paying for utter corruption. But even if these are successful, there's only one way you can afford to pay for all of these schemes, which in total are close to 2 lakh crores outlay. The only two ways you can do this is, one, through increasing taxation so you generate wealth, or two, by taking a loan to pay for it now in the hope that you can pay back for it later. It's home economics. If you need money to spend on something, you need to get that money first. Now the problem with increasing taxation is that it affects the economy as a whole. You can't increase taxation on citizens because it's unfair and they're not going to be able to pay any more than they already are. And you can't increase taxation on corporates because these corporates and these companies are in fact looking for tax breaks to be able to invest more into the economy. If you don't give them these tax breaks, they will not be incentivized to invest in the economy, and there'll be an economic slowdown. Therefore, the government has done what it did as of now. They took loans. This deficit spending is extremely dangerous, because if you don't use deficit spending on funds creating sources, on income generating sources, you're not going to be able to pay it off later on. And this is very dangerous because the kind of funding we are giving out is not the kind of funding that will generate income later. Unlike say the creation of a golden quadrilateral system which increases and promotes trade, things like the NREG and the food security bill are not going to do that. Which means if the government really wanted to make these work, they would have first had to ensure that the CAR, the current account deficit, is not going to increase, and that they actually have money to be able to pay for this at later time. They haven't done this. This Ponzi capitalism can't continue, and in fact is creating the downturn that we are seeing today. It's really just the government policies and the government lack of planning that has led to the state that we are in right now. They should really try and pull their socks up before it gets much worse. Thank you.